our true nature, what we truly are, is not defined by the mind. Is not defined by any perception. Is not defined by any sensation. You imagine yourself to be a person the field of presence and awareness seemingly narrows. And in this contraction, the separate self is conceived, is imagined, and the external world, as a result, is perceived. That is the angst of separation and duality. It is a dream. It's an imagination. It's an imagined separation. That is validated by thought and by perception. Thinking that I am this mind, this internal mind, and that I am perceiving an external world. But when you pause, you take a close look at this internal mind, you don't find it. You only find awareness of thought, awareness of bodily sensations. You only find awareness. That the mind defines as thought A and thought B, and that the mind defines as sensation A and sensation B. And when you look closer at the world that is imagined to be out there, you come onto perception, meaning you come onto awareness. that the mind labels as tree, as car, as house, as clouds, as bird. When you take a closer look at the mind and at the world, you only find awareness. You do not find an internal mind and an external world. You only find a mind conversation that speaks of an internal self and of an external world. So when we come together and we look closely together, we notice that we never perceive anything out there. We only perceive our perception, which means we're only aware of our awareness. We're only aware of awareness. Awareness is aware of itself. And when I speak of perception, I also mean sensation. When you turn your attention to sensation, you will only find awareness. Awareness, aware of itself. You find no such thing as a world or as a mind or as a body. You find a mind conversation that speaks such language. And the mind conversation that you perceive is perceived via the awareness. That is the only true, the only truth, the truth of awareness, of consciousness. I use the term consciousness and awareness interchangeably. This impression of separation has no validity, has no legs to stand on once you inquire into it, via your direct experience, looking directly. Wherever you look, it is consciousness looking at itself. It is the mind that imagines a me and another. It is the mind that imagines tasks that need to be accomplished in the world in order to be happy. It is the mind that imagines a person who is lacking something and that they can find what is lacking in the world that it imagines. It is the mind that gives veridity, seemingly, to time as memory. It is the mind that seemingly gives veridity to objects and distance and space between them, between object A and object B. When you look closely at your experience, you come empty-handed, because looking at your experience, you never go anywhere. So your unhappiness is a dream, the dream of unhappiness. And your problems are dream problems. And your issues are dream issues. And your failures are dream failures. And your progress are dream progress. Your life is a dream life. What the mind perceives as real, consciousness perceives as a dream. What consciousness perceives as real, the mind does not recognize. Everything that you know, everything that you experience through the reality of consciousness. The mind conversation is downstream. Upstream, so to speak, is consciousness. The mind plays dominoes with labels. And concepts. It is like a puzzle with 1,000 pieces. It's actually a seamless whole. Consciousness is a seamless whole. And the mind divides it in 1,000 puzzle pieces and plays the game of rebuilding the puzzle. There is nothing that is not permeated, that is not made of and known but by consciousness. What you truly are is that, is the consciousness. Our true nature is not men and women living on a planet. Our true nature is consciousness. Seamless, undivided. Before you refer to the mind, you know yourself to be that. But as you go downstream and you refer to the mind, you perceive a sense of lack and incompleteness, a sense of despair, worries and concerns. And you search in the mind's projection of a world. You search for what is lacking. While you never go anywhere, you never move. It's a dream journey. You've never not known what you are, what you truly are. Ignorance is a hoax. The separate self-identity is. A mind vibration, like the vibrations of the characters and the scenes that appear in your night dream. They are not different. Sense your totality.